Have you ever felt like you're living in your head 24/7, thinking, planning, doing, but rarely feeling? What if the key to balancing your hormones and calming your stress wasn't another supplement or diet, but adding a little bit more rhythm in your life? Welcome to the Balanced Hormone Solution Podcast. If you're a woman, 35 plus, feeling exhausted, struggling to lose weight, and wondering where your libido went, this is for you. I am Tracy Aaron, a functional medicine practitioner who helps women balance their hormones naturally without prescriptions, guesswork, or trendy nonsense. Because here's the truth. Your symptoms aren't random. They're signals. And if you know how to listen, you can fix the root cause and start feeling like yourself again. If you're ready for real solutions, let's get to it. If you're a woman 35 plus trying to do it all, hold it all, and still feel good in your body, then this episode is for you. I am your host, Tracy Aaron, a registered nurse and integrative health practitioner, helping women balance their hormones naturally without prescriptions, guesswork, or burnout. And today we're talking about one of my very favorite ways to reconnect with yourself, dance. And I have invited one of my dear friends and fellow salsa dance teachers to join me for this conversation about how movement, music, and community can bring you back into your body, lower your stress, and reignite your confidence. So welcome, Nicole.
Hey, hello. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you're here today. I want to think back about how I met you. It must have obviously been in a dance class. Nicole is an amazing salsa teacher, and I want you to go into how you found the love of dance yourself here in a second. But must have been in a salsa class, and I just thought you had so much energy. You had such an amazing vibe, so much confidence, and you have a magnetism about you that draws people in. And I have to say, it's very inspiring to watch. So I think I did levels of your classes and fell in love through the process with dance myself. And anyway, as my kids say, I'm glazing you right now, and I'm happy to do that.
Oh, so what does that mean? Glazing? Am I a donut? I love
No,
that.
this
I
is
love
the word.
donuts.
Glazing. Yeah, right. Glazing is, this is as my kids say, it's when you talk highly of somebody, or if you point out positive things, or you talk in a way that makes them feel good. My kids will be like, Mom, stop glazing them.
Okay. So I love this. I love having adult like parents who can tell me the words that kids are using these days, because I have no idea what they're talking about ever.
Okay, well, you know what 6-7 means, right?
I know when I'm counting the class in to start dancing, but what is it?
Like, let me just tell you, if you had elementary, preteens, or teenagers in your class, you would get nothing done, because every time you said 6-7, the class would erupt either in laughter or eye rolls, because that's what happens to me. And I actually don't know what where this thing got started. I think it's a meme. I've heard it was a meme. I've also heard it's the height of a certain basketball player.
Okay.
Somebody, I don't know,
Interesting.
is 6 feet tall and 7 inches. And somehow the young world grabbed a hold of this
Young world.
and have made just this saying. And anytime 6-7 comes up in conversation or on clock, or I mean, it's so bad right now. My youngest is now, he just turned 10. He has access to a phone, and whenever that phone has a battery percentage of 67%, he will screenshot it and send it to the group family chat. And everybody thinks it's funny, but his parents, me, and
Right.
because we're like, well, who cares?
What does that mean? Yeah, like what is this?
Then next it'll be 66%. What's the big deal?
Right.
But anytime we say 6-7 or something, like the other day, we're on fall break right now, so he didn't want to get his homework done like he should have. And I opened the lesson for him, and problem number 1 had 4 addition problems, and one of the 4 was 6 plus 7. and he decided he was going to do the work.
Okay. Well, if it's getting them to do stuff, then.
So I don't know what it is. It's maybe somebody out there can inform us of the real humor behind 6-7, but it's a thing, just like
Okay.
glazing. And I'm happy to glaze you because I just think that you're amazing. But before we jump in, let me just tell you a little bit about why this topic matters to me so much.
Okay.
And that is, for years, I have lived almost entirely inside of my head. Yeah, I'm a homeschool mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom. So you get really good at things like organizing and planning and scheduling ahead of time and managing kids. And now that I have a business, managing clients and caring for them and managing the house and chores and all the things. And after a while, you go through the motions so much that you begin to feel numb.
Mhm.
You're just robotically going through what needs to get done without really stopping long enough to feel the sensations of your body and get into yourself and connect,
Yes.
even if it's just with yourself. And so I had a good friend, a dear friend of mine, years ago. She was going through her own health journey, and she had seen a doctor in Spain, of all
Mhm.
places. She did this telehealth visit with him, and he said, "You've got to do something that makes you happy. You
Mhm.
have to get out of your head and into your body. I am forcing you." She also was a homeschool mom managing her home and dedicated her whole life to this process.
Mhm.
And he said, "You got to do something that makes you happy, doctor's orders." And she immediately remembered when she was a little girl, she loved to dance. And she thought of me and she goes, "Well, Tracy will go with me. She does all this stuff. She won't say no." And she was right. She invited me to a class, and we went to a class, and then we went to Acme Feed and Seed
Okay.
downtown Nashville.
Yes.
We had no idea what we were doing. And we stood on the side and we, got invited to a couple dances, but nonetheless, we had so much fun. At the end of the
Yeah.
night, we need to keep doing this. And for me, that began a journey. Now, let's see, I think I'm 2.5 years in now of learning salsa and bachata, Latin dance in the Nashville area. And when I tell people that I actually like to salsa or bachata, they give me a sideways look, like they shock them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I frequently am saying, you know, it's one of the best ways for me to get out of my head and connect with myself.
Yeah.
But let's talk at some point also about how important it is to connect with others. And that's a
Mhm.
beauty of social Latin dancing. I'll also get a lot of people who are like, "But you're married. How do you do social dancing? How do you dance with other men?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm
No.
literally sharing a moment in time, and we happen to be doing the same steps, and when we connect, it can be the most beautiful, freeing thing." And guess
Yes.
what? As soon as that song is over, you walk away, and you
You
start
do.
over again with somebody else.
It's the best.
It's the best. And then and my husband eventually started dancing,
He did.
and I told him, "Oh, I got Nicole on the podcast today. I can't wait." And he goes, "Tell her I'm gonna get back into her classes."
Oh.
So you'll see him again soon. But anyway, dancing for me has just changed my life. And it's the one thing that I can do during the week that where I can set everything aside. My family stays at home. I could go by myself or with friends,
Yeah.
and I can literally just get into my body and let go.
Yes. Ugh. Yes.
It's amazing. And as I've gotten older and I'm now in the perimenopausal years and, expecting hormonal changes and just moving through the seasons of womanhood,
Mhm.
to find ways to feel again outside of my to-do list or a responsibility has been probably one of the best things I have done for my own health. And
Yeah.
people don't believe me until they try it themselves.
Yeah. It's true.
They
It's
think, "Oh, it's just for fun," or at worst, they think I'm, like, out at clubs dancing, like,
Right.
with club music or something like you don't no. This is a totally different classy environment, but
Yeah, it's structured, it's organized, there's safety measures, like yeah.
and on top of that, it's just so much fun, right? And there's so much we can talk about because there's the confidence aspect and joy that we find in ourselves. There's there's the aspect where it brings, you know what, it for me it brought up a lot of insecurity too. Like
Mhm.
I'm standing on the side available to dance and nobody's asking me. Why is nobody asking me to dance? Am I not a good dancer? Am I ugly? Am I
Yeah.
fat? What like all
Yes,
it's like
yes,
middle school again.
yes, yes.
Oh, it can be torturous. And it has been a personal reflection journey for me. So much growth. So it's hormone health, it's physical health, it's personal growth, it's all these things. But anyway, we're going to touch on a couple of these things as we talk today. So tell me first, like, how did you get involved with dance? How did this become a passion of yours?
Oh my goodness, you said so many good things. My brain is like reeling, but and let's get here. I started dancing. I actually hated dance growing up when I was a kid. Like my parents are from Ghana, and so our culture, and they moved here as dancers and drummers, are part of a dance troupe, and so it was a part of my life for my whole life, and I wanted nothing to do with. I wanted
Okay.
nothing to do with it. The elders told me I was stiff. I wasn't a good dancer. Talk about insecurities. Like it just was not my jam. But then, of course, like as I was growing up, Britney Spears became popular and all these like girl pop groups and whatever. And they're doing a lot of dancing in their videos. So I would like move around in like in the den when nobody's there, try to copy the moves from the video. And then there was a girl in my high school who danced belly dance, and I thought that was really cool. And so I took like I had her show me some stuff. And she told me when I got to college, she was like, I think you have really natural rhythm, just like you need to work on your arms, which if you ever start dancing salsa, that's the one question that every follow or woman wants to know is like what they're supposed to do with their arms. And so when I got to college, I started taking classes and then I ended up with a dance minor. Everything works out how it's supposed to. It's just crazy.
Well,
Um, and then right after I graduated from college, I injured myself. I was doing freelance dancing on like some modern dance company, dance theater stuff. And I pulled a muscle in my back and I wasn't able to do like that full range, like swingy, contemporary, modern movement. And I remember somebody had told me about a club down the street from my house called Ibiza Nightclub. And I was like, I really love dancing now. I need to be able to keep dancing. So I went to Ibiza and I never left. That was in 2011, 2010, 2010. And I've not stopped dancing salsa since. It's insane.
so there was salsa that night at that club,
Yeah, and it was mostly like a salsa club. It's a Latin bar and they had a salsa night specifically. Because
like
a lot of people
fusion.
will yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people will think that when you go to a Latin club that it's gonna be salsa and bachata. No, like a Latin club, especially in Nashville, is like a club that Latinos go to blow off steam. So it's like their music, reggaeton, which is like their version of hip hop, blah blah blah. So they have special nights for salsa because a lot of the younger kids don't dance salsa. It's usually the older generation. But we've made it really popular, so we dance it all the time. But I went, there was salsa that night, and like I was like, "What is this?" And it didn't hurt. That was the thing. That it like because I stand
Yeah.
upright, I'm not bending or twisting as much, and so it didn't hurt. And I was like, "Here we are." The rhythms made so much sense because the rhythms are based in like African rhythms, which are things that I heard growing up my whole life. And so it just like really came full circle. The music made sense to me right away. The movement made sense to me right away. I was not great at following. I will say that. I think a lot of women, when they start dancing, have trouble following because you usually lead in your life. Like you said, you are
Yeah.
homeschool mom. You're the house manager. Like you have your business. You're always taking care of things. So it's so hard to step into a classroom to be in the role of receiving. I find that a lot of
Yes.
who come into my classes have a very hard time, myself included, receiving. And
Okay.
so it makes it really hard. It's like it's that's I feel like the follows journey is like your route back to learning how to receive. And so when I started dancing, I thought I was doing all the things, but I realized I was backleading. So backleading is a term that we use for the listeners when the follow is doing whatever they want just because they want to and not what was actually led. And it's so easy to do because you think that you're being helpful or you think that you know what's going to happen because you probably do. But in this
Yeah.
role in salsa, your job is to listen and receive and not have to be in charge of anything except your own autonomy. And
Yeah.
it can be really tough. And so then I started this journey probably 6 years into my dancing of like, how do you actually follow? Like, how do you
Mm.
actually do this? Because I started leading because I was like, oh, the leads aren't good. They're not da da da. And then I started leading and I was like, wait, these follows are really like resistant. Like they feel physically
Mm.
hard to move because they're thinking. You can feel that they're thinking and
Yes.
they don't want to
That's it.
respond.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is going on here? And I was like, do I feel like that? So then it sent me down this journey of like, okay, I'm gonna learn to follow. And what does that mean? And because I took a class in New York and I took a private lesson with a guy and he was like, you're not actually following anything that I'm leading. You're just doing whatever. And I was like, excuse me? And so it just sent me down this path. And now,
Tough love.
yeah, tough love for sure. And so now it's sent me down this path of like, how do we inspire women to be better follows on the dance floor? But also, like, how do you learn to receive in your life? Because I find that anything that we work on in the classroom is a direct reflection of things that people are encountering in their life. And it can also help the things that they're dealing with in their life. Like, I've seen so many people come through with their confidence has changed. I've seen people who have left relationships that no longer serve them. Like, it has changed so much about these women in my classes and their experience. And so even just I had one woman who said the way that the men so in traditionally men lead and women follow, and I have people do both in my classes. Like women can lead or follow, men can lead or follow. It actually helps with the skill set later on, both skill sets later on. But I had one woman who said to be treated with the respect and the care that these men lead us with in class, and to know that that's not what I'm getting at home made me
Whoa.
realize like I have been unhappy for a very long time. And I was like, she said, so I
Mm.
have she's like, I want to thank you for she said, I want to thank you for my divorce. And I was like, that was the first one she came to me with. And I was like, excuse me, what do you mean? She was like, and then she told me all of that. And I was like, wow, that is insane. That's,
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
You are not just teaching footsteps and hand movements, girl.
No,
You are changing lives.
it's wild. Whenever I hear a story like that, I'm just like, this is so much bigger than me. And this is so much bigger than what anybody signed up for. Nobody came here
No.
thinking that they were going to get all of that.
Right. And that's the point is this whole mind body connection is, I probably have encountered 0 women in my practice who don't live a life of some sort of massive stressor.
Yes.
And it's different for everybody and doesn't matter their age or station in life, but the the body is under a tremendous amount of stress. And the beautiful thing about dance is that when you're moving your hips, you begin to release that overthinking. And when you surrender to things like music and movement, that's that process of getting out of your head and into your body. And when you finally get there, it's like a whole new level of awareness turns on for you. And you
Yes.
do start noticing that it ripples over to other areas of life.
Yes. Ugh,
And it's like
it's so
you're
beautiful.
forced, being forced to feel makes you realize all the other parts of your day when you're not feeling anything.
Yes. It's so true. It is. That is exactly it. It's the lack of feeling. Like I have to tell my follows in class
Yeah.
constantly. I'm like, follow what you feel, follow what you feel, follow what you feel. And they're like, what am I supposed to feel? And I'm like, what do you
We don't know how to do that.
Yeah, what do you feel? Because I think too, our society defaults to like knowledge and education are king. So then it's like, leave your
Yes.
feelings behind, leave emotions out of everything. People are always like, it's just business, which means it's just a thoughtful thing and it shouldn't have your feelings involved. And so there's so much separation of mind and feeling in our lives
Yeah.
that in order to get ahead, sometimes it feels like you do have to leave your feelings behind. But there's so much power in our emotions and understand and feel, because it has everything to do with how you love yourself. 'Cause
Mm.
you can feel when things aren't right. You can feel, that's a feeling, it's not a thought. If you overthink it, you move yourself away from what you originally feel, which is your instinct for what is correct. And so I'm just trying to get myself back to that. And because that's what I'm doing, that's also the lens through which I teach. And then we all hopefully arrive at some point or another. I see it happen, piece by piece, like somebody's shoulders are more up than they were before. There's a light in their eye that wasn't there before, or they speak more than they did before. Cause I've had people who come in and are completely shy and like closed off, and you can tell. I love somatics. I love body language. I love um the things that people's bodies tell me, and to watch them just like literally go from being in a shell and down on themselves to expanding in their own light. There's nothing that gives me more joy. It's
I
incredible.
love that you just said that because I was going to ask you about this transformation, which you must see from when a woman comes in and begins her dance journey to when she finally, do you see it? Is it like a switch that flips for her at some point
Yeah.
and she gets into her body?
Yes.
That must
Yes.
be amazing to.
It is incredible to watch. There's one can think of right now. I actually just was talking to her about it the other day. I was like, I just want to let you know that I see you now. You used to hide yourself, but I
Mhm.
see you now. I saw you on the dance floor. I saw you hold your head up high with confidence. You weren't second guessing. You weren't apologizing if things went wrong. Like, you just danced the dance and you smiled. You smiled and you didn't look stressed and you didn't look like you were apologetic for existing. Like, you have changed. And I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you feel that. I don't know if you sense that, but I need you to know that I see it. And she was just like,
Mm.
teary-eyed, thank you. Like, I noticed that I feel more empowered to speak up about things that feel off. And it's wild to see that, because the prison, not the prison, but like the cage that we put ourselves in, the overthinking is one that we put ourselves there, but we don't realize that there's an option for
Yeah.
something else, because it seems like that's the only way
Yeah.
to do it. I struggle with it every day, all the time. Like, it's not, I don't think it's something that ever goes away. I think it's part of the human experience in general. But the more time you spend feeling, the less you care. Because then it's just like, that doesn't feel right. I'm not engaging with that.
I love it.
Just in life, like, you don't,
Exactly.
yeah, you don't. I feel like I tolerate less because I feel now more. I tolerate less things that don't feel right from the
Mhm.
offset. I don't have to negotiate in my mind the pros and the cons and whether
Mhm.
it should actually do this or not. Like, if it feels like a no, it's a no. And I can be okay with that, because I know what feels good and I know what doesn't. But before, I didn't know that at all. And so dance has really opened that for me.
I love that. And I can completely relate. And some of the fear when we grow up in this Western world and we're academic minded and logical and we do
Yes.
things in black and white, this or that, extremes, then, we maybe even subconsciously might think, ooh, if I shut my mind off and get into my body, first off, we're afraid of that. Like, what are we
Yes.
capable of and what's going to happen to us and all this, right? But
Mhm.
what if it's both and? What if by sharpening our feelings and our emotions and getting connected to ourselves and our bodies, our mind actually gets sharper as well? And that's what you're
I would
just
agree with
describing.
that. I would agree with that. I do think, because it's an extra support system to your mind.
Yeah.
It's extra
So
input.
yeah, so we improve ourselves and our thinking and our analyticalism and the way that we process things when we know what it feels like to also be in our body. It's a
Yes.
it's a benefit, not a liability.
No. And it's interesting too, because dance is one of the top 5 fears. Like, it's right up there with public speaking. A lot of
Mhm.
people have a fear of moving their body and being seen, but a lot of people feel uncoordinated and don't feel like they feel like they have to be trained to dance. And so while I'm coming from a trained perspective, there are many nights that there is music on in my house and I'm just wiggling around,
Yeah.
and it feels so good. And I think that that's where people need to start for themselves. It's just like, turn on some music that you enjoy. It doesn't matter if it's dance music or not. It doesn't matter what it is. Turn away from a mirror. Do not look at yourself because you will stop.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
maybe turn the lights down low or whatever, and just like move your shoulders or move your head or tap your foot, and let that be enough to start. And you'll find that over time, you'll move more and more because it just feels so damn good, and it unlocks these emotions that are stuck in the body. Because from the somatic point of view, like, there's emotional centers in the body, like your hips hold a lot of emotional,
Mm.
trauma, and your chest holds a lot. I see
Yeah.
so much in the chest in my community. I see so many women who, like, their chest is concave or it's rigid, or they won't. Oh, I'm like, and I say, lead with your heart. You have to lead with your heart. You have to open your heart, and they just don't know how. They don't know.
Okay.
I've had tears. We've had, like, and I'm unfortunate. I actually have stopped doing as many private lessons because of that. I'm working on training on how to, like, how to hold space for that type of thing, because I'm very blunt. And when I see it, I say something about it. I'm like, what happened to you? Your hips are really locked up. And they're like, what do you mean? Because a lot of people think that they're hiding that you can't see that. They don't even know that it's something that you can see. And I'm like, did something happen to you? You refuse to move your hips. Like, you won't, they're locked. You're holding them back. What happened? And then it becomes this conversation that I open this can of worms that I feel like I need to be better equipped to hold space for, because there's a lot of trauma that is in these spaces. But yeah, chest is a big one, especially if it's a woman that has a larger chest, because she probably got her chest when she was 10 or 11 or very young, became sexualized at a very young age, and she wants to hide them. And so they dance, like, with their shoulders forward and their chest back, and they're like just trying to hide this part of their body. And I'm like, you can't dance like that. You can't live like that. If it's a weight thing, like if it's like literally the weight of them, I get that. But this is not that. I can tell the difference. And so just getting them to open their heart and moving through that space it's tough for a lot of people. So dance, outside of the fact that people are nervous to dance in front of other people, the things that it makes you, it reveals to you, and the feelings that it releases into your system, things that you've hidden and don't want to deal with, it brings up a lot of that. And a lot of people, some people will face it head on, because it's also a gentle space to experience that. But also some people, they don't want to see it, and then they move away from dancing. But I was like, as long as you are here, I will be with you to get you through this. Like, I will do everything that I can. But once you leave, there's nothing I can do to help you anymore. And so I try to get as many of them to stay, and I reach out and check on them. But sometimes it's just a lot. It's a lot. It can be a lot.
In my practice, I don't know if you've ever heard of the book, but I talk about it a lot. The title is The Body Keeps the Score.
Yes, I have listened to that on audio.
Yeah. I mean, the title says it all, right? The book is 3 inches thick, and it's a well worth read, but you already know what it's about because of the title, which is explaining exactly what you're saying, which is we can't hide from our traumas. We can't hide from our disconnect, and we really even can't hide from our stress. And it's going to come out in small ways, and we continue to suppress. Eventually, the top blows off, and we get massive, let's say in the medical world, like symptoms later on when we just replace them with medications or something. Perimenopause got you feeling like a hormonal hostage? Your period's unpredictable, your sleep's trash, your mood's a minefield, and no one prepared you for this. Enter the Balanced Hormone Solution, my 90-day program for women 35 plus who are done guessing and ready to feel like themselves again. Because we test, not guess. We detox, rebalance, and get your hormones and your life back in check. Because you're not broken, you're just burned out. So let's fix that. Head to TracyAaronWellness.com
and let's get started.
Now, but dance allows you to get this up close view of other people and how it's really amazing because as I'm talking about this with you, I'm making the connection myself about healing.
Yes.
Emotional healing, physical healing, and dance really being a beautiful mechanism for that. I mean, I think of movement in terms of how it lowers our cortisol levels. It reduces stress in our lives. So what that means to me in my world is balancing our hormones.
Yeah.
And we're getting increase of oxytocin. And, I work with women in a 90-day container, and we walk through all the things that it requires for them to balance their hormones naturally. And yes, I teach stress reduction. Yes, we work on deep breathing, relaxation, Epsom salt baths. I mean, I've got all the tools in the toolbox for women, but the light bulbs go off when I say, the fastest way to actually lower your cortisol is to increase your oxytocin.
Yeah.
Like rather than doing all these things over here, lower stress, which stresses us out more because guess
Correct.
what? You got to meditate. Did you take a bath?
It's like you just added extra things to my plate.
What if instead of taking away, we just added something? And what that piece is for me and what we're talking about today is if you add that piece of joy, you add that piece of connection, you add that piece that is going to build that oxytocin. High cortisol cannot exist when oxytocin is high, right? Like, we all think of oxytocin, it's the love hormone, but like it's the highest hormone at the point of orgasm. You're not thinking about the dentist appointment you missed out in your schedule, or the dishes in the sink, right?
Yeah.
You're like in euphoria.
Yeah.
That's the point, is like just raise your oxytocin level.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, instant cortisol decrease. It's the fastest way to balance hormones. It's like a hack.
Yes. Yes.
And dance, when the music starts, you start moving your body, oxytocin is going to increase. And then cortisol is going to decrease, and you can go into a social dance night with all the burdens on your back. You can remember all the ways that you failed the world, that you were disappointed in yourself, that, you don't look the way that you wanted to look, and you didn't get that job, and you don't have the money you want to have, whatever it is. And you dance, and all of a sudden, it doesn't matter. It goes into perspective almost instantly.
Yes. It's the best.
It is the best. It really is the best. So in that sense, it's not only getting us into a parasympathetic state faster, right? How many women are running around in that sympathetic state where they're it's that fight or flight. We're always chasing the tiger.
Correct.
Or running from the tiger. And it's almost like that music starts and the chase ends, and you can just be.
It gives you a reprieve.
Gives you a reprieve from life. And just to speak on what you were just saying, I can think of 1,000 times that I thought, what, maybe I need to find another hobby. Like, this is hard. And it brings up so much of my own insecurities. And I've had to ask myself over and over, do I really want to face this? Like, why do I feel so insecure on the dance floor? And like I alluded to before, like not being asked or messing up or feeling like I can't keep up. And if you've got that negative self-talk in your brain, something like this almost like just turns that volume up.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity though. And I have continued to pursue dance because I don't want to give in to that. And I don't want to give up.
Yeah.
And I know I'm at risk of just going, this is too hard and I'm not going to do it. But every time I say yes, I get better. And every time I try something new in the realm of dance, I get more rewards.
Yeah.
And so it's not that it's a journey without difficulty.
Correct.
Because it brings up something for everyone.
Every single person.
We all have something. But it's worth the work.
Yes.
It's worth the work to keep going, to get to the other side. because what carrot is dangling at the end of the nose is this freedom that we find in ourselves. And yes, I find it so lovely when a dance is perfection and I've connected with a stranger.
Yeah.
That's a miracle in and of itself.
Yes.
We can get there. But what I love the most is finding myself.
Yeah.
Connecting with myself. Like, especially, I don't mean to go back to this and we don't have to stay there, but I have 5 kids. I've been a wife for 25 years. I am an extension of this unit.
Yes.
So for me to do something that is just me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the greatest gift.
It is a gift. I think that there's nothing in life that, especially if you're living your life in your head constantly, there's not going to be any activity or hobby that you do that's not going to make you face yourself. You're going to have to, because to have joy, you have to you have to make space for it. And if all of the other things are taking up space, you won't have space. I do think that, and I can only speak to this because I've done dance. I don't really know. I haven't tried a lot of other hobbies, but I do feel like dance can be a very gentle way to face your stuff, face yourself. Like, it brings up questions in the moment, maybe when you're dancing, especially because we're talking specifically about a partner style. So you are dancing with another person, and I feel like I tell people it's a symbol of a relationship in life. Like, how do you deal with not knowing? How do you deal with things going wrong? How do you deal with how you feel that day in the presence of another person? So it's like a tiny little way of facing yourself, because everything we learn is through relationship. All we do is interact with other people. You read books, but that's somebody wrote that. Like, I'm talking to you. That's a relationship. Like, we are relating to each other. And so dance gives you partner dance, gives you a way to explore how you are in relationships in a gentle way. I think especially if you have any type of like tough relationships that you're encountering or dealing with, it's like, how do I find myself in this space here? How do I find my voice? Because as a follow, I think that the misinterpretation for follows a lot of the time is that because I'm following, I'm just at the mercy of the lead. And that's not true. You do still have a voice. You 100% have a voice, because I know, and it might be controversial in the larger dance world, but I actually think that the lead is following the follow, because you can only do what we allow.
I like that.
Because it's my body. And so then it's always like the follow makes the lead look good. Yeah, because you have to work with me. You have to work with me where I am.
Yes.
So if you're leading me, I love it that, so this teacher I had come in town, he said, if I throw a ball against a wall, like as a game, and I want to catch that ball, I have to keep my eyes on the ball. If you're playing tennis, you send the ball over, but you have to follow and track the ball to get it and receive it and like send it back. And that's the same with leading and following. He's like, I toss the ball, but I have to see where it's going and follow it to make sure I can execute the next move. So I have to follow the follow. And I was like, exactly. It does take both of us in this relationship, in this partnership, to make it work. It takes you and your boss to make work. It takes you and your husband to make work for your relationship to work. It takes you and your kids to have a successful parent-child relationship. Like, your friends they have to engage with you. You have to receive, they have to give, like, it goes back and forth. And so, yeah, I feel like the lead has to cater in a way, like they have to cater to the follow. They have to follow us. And so we get to lead that. So you're not just giving away your power. And that's something that I think is really important for women to know if they're going into a dance class. And it's something that I have to remind follows of constantly, going back to some things that you said. It's like, you're in your head, you're in there, whatever. I like at the beginning of class, the first day of class for anybody, I'm like, I need everybody to make 10 mistakes. I need you. You
give them permission
to make 10 mistakes. And you're going to say, fuck yes, I did it. I made a mistake, and be okay with that. Because some adults, You're so used to, like, you've been a wife for 25 years. You've been raising your family for 25 years, however long. And so you're good at that. You know how to do that. And then you step into a salsa class and this is something that you don't know how to do. And you're like, I
Mhm.
should be able to do this. I have legs. I know how to walk. I know how to move my arms. Like, why is this so hard? Like, you go into your head and I'm like, okay, when you're an adult, when is the last time you've learned something new? Give yourself some
Mhm.
grace and
Yeah.
please make 10 mistakes. If you make more, you win.
Yeah.
You should come in here ready to fail because it's not supposed to be perfect because life is messy. Learning new things is messy. And then for my follows, I do a little spiel before we go into partnership with another person. I actually have I have the women ask the men to dance. And I
Women.
say, closed mouths don't get fed. If you want to dance, you need to ask for it. I know
Mhm.
that a lot of the times we're waiting on a man to like do something for us or lead us or whatever. I was like, look at how many follows we have in class. There's usually twice as many as there are leads. And there are going to be follows that you're like, they dance with them all the time. It's because they ask them in advance because they know how many follows are here. Because closed mouths don't get fed. Now, number two, you're going to sit there, you're going to go to a party and be like, nobody asked me to dance. And you're going to make up every reason that society has told you something is wrong with you. Anything you've seen in any marketing that tells you that you are not perfect, you're going to pick that as the thing and the reason why somebody didn't ask you to dance. That's not why they didn't ask you to dance. They didn't ask you to dance because you're sitting there overthinking and you look miserable. And we are here to
Mhm.
be in joy, and nobody wants to pick up the miserable person. So when you allow yourself to be like, I'm here, I'm going to enjoy this moment, and I'm going to ask for what I want. It's a container to do that. Because sometimes it's scared to
Yeah.
ask for what you want outside of that. Like maybe, for instance, I know this is a stretch. This is going to sound crazy, but like people advocating for them in themselves in their medical stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like they're afraid to open their mouth and say, well, I don't think that that's right. Or I would like a second opinion. Or I would like da 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 da. They don't even know where to go. Some of them may not know that you exist and that this is a possibility outside of what their standard doctor is, their PCP is telling them. So
Right.
now in class, you get to practice. Well, I don't like that. That didn't feel good to me. I want to dance. I dance like this. I did this and you have to follow this. It starts giving you little tiny micro permissions to where you're
Mhm.
going to encounter a situation where you're like, no, I don't like that. I don't like the way that that sounds. Is there another option?
Yeah.
It builds those muscles. And that is
Yeah.
the benefit of dance that a lot of people don't realize, especially in partner dance, because you're communicating silently with a person. And if you're able to do that, it becomes easier to use your voice later on.
Drop the mic right there. Perfect. I mean, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. Beautifully said. I mean, I'm thinking some of the best dances I've had are where I can tell the lead in the first 30 seconds is um assessing what my skill level is
Yes.
and trying some moves. And if I'm tracking and I'm right with them,
Yeah.
he goes a little bit more,
Yeah.
a little bit, and a little bit more until he finds wherever my boundary is. And I'm like, I can't do that triple spin.
Yeah.
I never did that left turn, and then I end up in this position. Like I'm not
Yeah.
there yet. And I love that part of discovery too, that you get to do with another person. It's like, how far can we expand with each other? What are we
Correct.
working with? Consequently, or alternatively, the worst dances are those where the lead just does whatever they're going to do and
Yeah.
they're not checking in with you at all. And
Nope.
they're going to triple spin you whether you want to triple spin or not.
Ugh, those are the worst.
Yeah. And sometimes you feel like, "Oh gosh, I'm not very good. I should be better.
Uh-huh.
I that it's me," and so then all that the stories come back in our head
Yeah.
and but it is relationship and so whatever's going on over there is
Has
affecting what's
nothing
going
to
on
do with
here.
you.
Yeah.
It has
And
everything to
that's a
do with
life
that
lesson.
person.
That's a
And
life
it's
lesson
yeah,
to
it's
take
that
into
the four what is that book? The four keys to life or something. It was I can't remember the name of it. But it's like don't take it personally.
Mm.
One of the
Yeah.
core things was don't take it personal, because you'll dance with some people and it doesn't seem like they're into it, or you'll like
Yeah.
you they might just be presenting that way, or they're dealing with a lot of stuff and you have no idea what they're dealing with. And so the we've agreed to this dance, they've asked you or you've asked them, we're here now. Like, how do I make the best of a shit situation?
Yep.
Or how can I actually be physically touching your hand and keep your energy where your energy is and not let it affect mine? There's just so many opportunities to try different, uh, to experience life differently in a dance, to interact with people.
Yeah.
It's so, the more I learn, the more I do it, the more I'm like, wow, this is a transformational practice. And I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. 100%. Let's talk about that confidence and that empowerment piece. I mean, most of the women that I work with in my practice are, 35 plus. And a lot of them, yeah, like you said, they're the bosses of their life.
Yes.
They're school teachers, they're healthcare providers, they're mothers, they're taking care of other people and they're good at that. And there's a certain aspect that we can lose of our own, uh, I don't know, maybe sensuality is the right word, along the way. Like we give and give and give, and then we just find ourselves like spent,
Yes.
and we this is just an issue here. I don't even have the exact words to describe this scenario. I've experienced it myself. I witness it in others. And it's like dance, what it does is it's like this gift that helps bring some of that energy
Mm.
back, that vitality back, that embodied confidence that
Yes.
is unspoken. It's energetic. It's it's just it's something very deep and profound. So it's not, and I'm not even talking about appearance. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the superficial things. I'm talking about a way that a woman feels about herself, her own skin.
Yes.
Then it becomes about this energy and expression. So what I want to know is, because you get to see this happen so many times, is like, what is it like to watch a woman let go of the judgment she has for herself?
It is the most beautiful thing to be a witness to, because it's not something that we see a lot just in life. I feel like if you know anybody that has like this confidence and this power, like this energy about them, we all feel like it's so far off, like they were born like that, and that is just not me because I've always been shy, or I've always been this, or I've always been that, or I have a million things going on over here. I don't have time to be that person. Even though I feel like some of the strongest people are the ones who need that love poured into themselves more than anybody. Uh,
Yeah.
who can feel the least confident, but you just move because you have to, because life is like, you got to get this done. It's so rewarding to see that, because that is probably one of the main reasons now that I do what I do. It was this, that when I started, it was like, I love this dance thing so much and this music is so amazing. Like, how do people, and I feel like for me, it feels like church almost. Like, I feel so connected to something bigger than myself every time I dance, especially if it's a good dance. Like, everything worked out. Like, I felt in my power. They were in their, like, they were in their masculine, especially like if I'm dancing with a man that's a lead, they were in their masculine, protecting me, making sure that I had my, like, they were holding a container and a space for me to express myself and my
Yeah.
full sensuality, my full femininity, I also had to work really hard to allow myself to even go there when I'm dancing. But
That's
like,
what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's hard
yeah,
for us.
yeah, it is. I started playing this game with myself when I dance.
Tell me.
Sure, if I'm dancing with a lead who makes me feel really safe and I feel like they know what they're doing, they're dancing to my level, they're not going to do anything crazy. I in my head, this is going to sound so crazy. I'm like, I am a queen and they are so grateful to be in my presence. And the way
Mhm.
that they're treating me and the way that they're guiding me, and they know that they're here for my support and they're here for my like, and I allow myself to just like embody this queen energy when I'm dancing, and it almost makes the dance even more divine. Like, because I feel like the lead as a man responds to that. Like they can feel when I'm fully settled in who I am going to be and who I am, and that they can lead me truly. Because I think sometimes when if as follows we're trying to do it right. So this is very common for all follows, which is why that transformation of seeing them come into their own confidence is so beautiful. When we start, we want to be right for the lead. We want the lead to think that we're good, that we're doing things right, and we want to make sure that they're happy with what we're doing. Because a lot of the times in life, we're providing for other people. So then the experience becomes, how do I make sure that this
Yep.
likes how I dance? Rather than, how do I enjoy how I
Yep.
dance? And he or this person gets to be in witness of that. And so as people dance more and more and more and more, like if it's not intentional, it happens over time, but it always happens. It always happens that they find their confidence. It always happens that they can settle into themselves because they know that they're taken care of. I think it has to be that I actually spoke about this recently on on an Instagram live. If a follow doesn't feel safe, we can't be creative in the dance,
Mm.
but also in life. If I don't
Mhm.
feel safe, I'm not gonna like venture out and do things that bring me joy because I'm doing everything I need to just keep up with like what I need to stay alive. Like my like not the bare minimum, but like my to-do list. This is
Yes.
safe because I know that if I do this, it will produce this outcome and I will be okay. But to like be creative is it's unknown. We don't really know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen when we're creative. We don't know if something's gonna flop, which it never really flops. It's just an opportunity to learn more about a different direction. But like we don't really know. But when you're dancing and and like you go from, okay, I have to be in this place because the lead put me there and I have to do this, to I'm dancing. I know my timing. I know where I'm going to be. I know how my body moves. And this is the dance that you get, sir. And like when you
Yeah.
really come into that, the lead will always meet you where you're at because they're like, you know who you are, and I know who I'm dancing with, rather than I'm dancing with somebody who's trying to perform to be perfect for me. Because you never can be that. You can only be perfect for yourself. And that is just whoever you are that day in that moment. I tell my follows all the time, I was like, who I dance as when I'm on my period versus who I am when my son is sick versus who I am when the studio plumbing went to shit. Like all of these
Yep.
things inform who I am in that moment. I'm not always gonna have the same dance with the if I dance with one person one day and then I dance with them the next day, I'm not the same person, and that's okay. But we always try when we start to arrive as like this perfect version of whoever the fuck we think we're supposed to be, which is not. It's part of the process. I will say that. But when you get
Yeah.
to that point, if you're able to make it intentional, which I think happens when we have teachers who remind us to be intentional about finding our confidence and being ourselves and loving ourselves. Um, because that's a different conversation for the salsa world where I don't feel like that's seen all the time. But once you're
Mhm.
intentional about it, it happens quicker. But even if you're not intentional about it, it happens over time that you just kind of like you start to draw parallels and you start to just demand a little bit more respect for yourself, and you seek safety in different situations so that you can relax and be yourself because you don't want that feeling of safety and joy to only exist on the dance floor. It has to, once you taste it, it can't just be on the dance floor.
Mhm.
And then your confidence grows outside of the dance floor. That was a long-winded way of saying that, but yeah.
It's such a powerful point. I love the concept of safety. Uh, I tell women who come to me and they just have not been able to lose weight. They've tried all the things, and no matter what they do, they can't lose the weight. And so we start working together. I get them on my nutrition plan. they start eating more food. They start texting me, how am I ever going to lose weight eating all this food? And I say, trust.
Trust.
And through the process, they continue to eat more and more and more, plus the supplements that I'm helping them with, and then the lifestyle measures that they're doing. All of this is working together to communicate one thing in their body, and that is safety.
Yeah.
And then when their body reaches the point where it believes it is safe, the pounds start to fly off. It's so unreal to watch.
Yeah.
And women say, I've tried everything. I can't believe this works. I really thought that I would have to eat less and move more, just like I've been told my whole life. And I'm over here going, it's all about safety. And the need that we desperately need to feel safe. And you're bringing it up in the dance world. I'm talking a little bit more on like the cellular level, or, you know, how we're interacting as a cells and mitochondria and inflammatory processes and everything. And we begin to experience healing when our body feels safe to do so, because we've got a nervous system that is quite alert and very good at keeping us alive and in survival mode. And that's where cortisol gets high and stays high. And that's where everything is like alarms flashing, anxiety, constant anxiety, because we're just like, just defend yourself. We are in a war here.
Yeah.
And when you can diffuse the message that you're in a war and you can communicate safety in a variety of ways, the body begins to heal. And dance, as you're describing it, is one of the fastest ways to bring that connection piece back in. And we learn how to feel safe in ourselves and with other people, and what is safe. And we have these micro tests of boundaries with ourselves. And did that feel good? Did that not feel good? Do I like stepping there? Do I like that closeness when my hand is held like that? I mean, there's
so many things.
A lifetime of learning.
Yeah.
No, and like you said, no dance is ever the same. And we learn something new about ourselves all the time. The connection piece is just, you know, so crazy here. But, you know, so for everybody listening to this, I just want you to practice this one thing this week. Well, first off, let me just say, if you're in the Nashville area and you're not taking Nicole salsa lessons, like, what in the world? Get into her classes and make yourself available to learn all of these things that we're talking about today, because your life will change. And we're not just talking about you're going to feel better about yourself. That will happen, yes, but all these other benefits are going to come too. But, you know, put this week, like, put on your favorite song. Like Nicole is saying, turn the music up, turn the lights down low, close the door, leave your self-consciousness somewhere else, and just sway, move your hips, feel the music, get into yourself, and let that movement heal. And pay attention, like, notice how your energy shifts. That's that nervous system that we're talking about that's trying to get you the message that you are safe. And the more you can provide for your nervous system to know that it's safe, the more your nervous system can begin to heal. But Nicole, I just love this conversation so much. And I love you. You're such an asset to the Nashville dancing community. And I would just love to know, like, what is one thing that you do for your own health on a daily basis?
Okay, so after listening to your podcast, I drink distilled water every day with salt.
Amazing.
With it's like a Irish salt, or what is it called? It's like
Celtic
salt, yes. With Celtic. I'm like Ireland or something.
Somewhere up there.
I drink that every morning. That has been so hydrating for me, especially because I dance so much and for whatever reason don't drink a lot of water. That has really, like, if I'm tired, it makes my eyes open up, like, even more so than coffee. That has been extremely important for me. But most of all, what I've been doing for my health lately, I have a 4-year-old son. And you get into that, like, you're the mom and we got to get all your activities, and I feed him first. And so then I barely eat. And then I'm eating at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, doing all of the things, trying to keep up with him. And my therapist was like, I can't believe I'm going to have to tell this to a dance teacher, but you need to go dance.
Mhm. You need your own medicine.
My own medicine. And so lately I've been like, even if it's one day, I'll fly out to New York and go dance, or I'll fly to some city for a night and just go dance with other people who are not my students, so that
Nice.
yeah, so I'm not like, they're not looking at me to be, they don't think I'm judging them. They don't think I'm like, because my students do. They're like, what do I need to work on? What do you I'm like, I was just trying to enjoy the dance. So I get to go,
I
because even with my students, it's like I'm a mother to all, right? Because they learn how to dance with me. So they're looking to me to like, I'm aware of everything that I'm keeping when I'm at my own socials, like I'm making sure that it's safe for everybody and all of the things. And so when I get to go out of town, that's already been taken care of for me. So I make sure that the things that my follows get to experience, that I make a container for, I also get to receive that in another space. So I've been traveling without my son and have a good time. And so that's been very healing. Because like you said, you dance, and then as soon as I leave the floor for the night, I am on a high that I can't,
Mhm.
like, and I'm just in the best mood. My sleep is good. The next day is good. Nothing can bring me down. And I need that medicine. I have to have it. Because that's why I got it in the first place. Something about it just made me feel so good. And it's now as I've delved deeper into teaching, I realize what all of those things are. And I was still keeping myself from that. So now I make sure once a month I get a daily dose of many hours of dancing for myself.
People, when I tell them how the Latin dance world goes, how social starts so late, and if you go to a congress and you might dance till 4 in the morning, and people just look at you like you got two heads, how crazy. I'm like, I am not even tired. I don't know how, but for 3 days, I am on the biggest high, like cloud nine. It's probably the only thing I could stay up doing until 4 a.m.
Same. Yeah. Because no other place in my life will you have me up until that time.
No, no, nothing else is worth that.
No. So it's incredible. I love it. It does. It's like once that oxytocin goes up, you can do anything.
You could do anything
Especially if
all
it's
night long.
giving you the oxytocin. You're like, let's keep dancing.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, and if you can get out of your own insecurities and just have fun. I remember you used to say in your classes, you probably still do. You say like, pick your eyes up. You're dancing with the person. Because me, myself, and I'm sure others, is like our habit is we look at our feet, we look at the floor. We're very concerned. Are we stepping correctly? But you're just like, get out of your head and enjoy. Just have fun.
Yes. It doesn't matter if you do it right or wrong. At the end of the day, are you having a good time? Because that's the only way that it's right. If it's miserable, then something's not going right well, and then we need to have a conversation. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things too where you unlearn that things have to be right or wrong. Sure, there's a way to do things, but at the like, just take it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Mhm.
Remind people of that. I'm like, you're not going to be perfect overnight. You can practice all the things that you want, but you're just making yourself more stressed, because now you're making a to-do list for the activity that's supposed to give you freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're turning it into more work. Stop that.
Right. Yes. Exactly. And because I feel like I've pushed through a lot of the skill obstacles I came across, and now I decided I had to make lots of micro decisions. This is worth it. Keep facing your fears, face yourself, don't quit, take more classes, go to more socials. You will keep improving. A lot of self-talk had to go into all that, still does. But now I can go like to Plaza on a Thursday night and dance all night long. And I didn't think about the steps once, it's like muscle memory kicks in. And now, am I as good as I could be? No, that's not the point. I'm good enough to be in my body now.
Yes. And that is the true
And
prize.
yeah, that's, to me, if the reward is won, I've got the prize.
Yes.
I'll keep dancing. I'll keep taking lessons. I'll keep going places. I want to always get better and better and better. But I pushed through enough to where I'm at now is I can literally enjoy a dance and not be in my head. To me, it's amazing.
That's freedom. That is freedom.
Freedom. Yeah. Well, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at NashvilleSalsaDancing.com, or you can find me on Instagram or TikTok at Nashville Salsa Dancing. And yeah, it's the same every you just Google it, you'll find me in a million places. Nashville Salsa Dancing. Yes, and I can't wait. I hope to meet some of you in class. And thank you, Tracy, so much for having me. Thank you so much for this show that you're doing. Thank you for the container that you hold for women and 35 plus that are encountering these things in their lives, and making sure that we know that we're not alone. Thank you.
Yeah. It's so powerful. I mean, in a very real sense, you and I do the same work, but in different ways.
Yeah.
I love it. So, yeah, serving women is a really beautiful thing. So, I could just keep talking with you for hours. There's so much to discuss here. But let me just conclude by just saying that our bodies, they are designed to move, to express, and to feel. And so if you got anything out of this today, I hope you know that when you reconnect with that truth, your stress melts, your hormones balance, and life starts to flow again. So dance is not just about the steps. It's about coming home to yourself. If you love this episode, please share it with a friend who needs a reminder that her body is her greatest ally and not her enemy, that healing is always available to us. And if you're ready to feel good in your body again from the inside out, join the Balanced Hormone Solution. We calm your cortisol, reset your metabolism, we rebuild your energy so you can dance with Nicole through life again, feeling vibrant, confident, and fully alive. I will see you next time on the Balanced Hormone Solution Podcast. That's it for today's episode of the Balanced Hormone Solution Podcast. If this resonated, don't just listen, do something about it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know another woman who's tired of feeling like a stranger in her own body, send her this way. For more support, check out the show notes. I've got resources to help you get started. Just remember, your body isn't broken. You just need the right tools. See you next time.